Yesterday I heard up and coming group of three podcasters share, and then they started telling of things from Westwood back in the day. Anthony Curry, Zebulon, Reverend Zebulon Russian, Apostle Zebulon Russian, and Melvin White. And then I heard them sharing wax on Westwood. And then I said, whoa. I did go to Central, but I lived in Westwood. So let me tell you my Westwood story from the 80s. I lived in deep South Memphis. Then we moved downtown with my mother. And then I guess like one of those scenes straight out of The Boys in the Hood, Trey has to come live with his dad. So this time Trey's name wasn't Trey, it was Steve. So moved in with my father. I used to visit on the weekends, and it wasn't a weekend thing anymore. So I went to school in Westwood. When my parents, well, my father and my stepmother and my brother Hamilton, my brother Victor, we lived on Park Rose, just a tad bit past Cimarron. And actually, my brother Hamilton was in the very first class. The Hamilton or Eric was in the very first class of Doubletree. Had to be Hamilton. And you saw just pride driving all the way down Park Rose. You saw pride in the neighborhood, pride in the yards. There were nice other bastions of blacks, a couple spots in Whitehaven. Of course, you could drive South Parkway and see it, French Fort. But I think, I could be wrong, but I think the largest selection of two-story homes was just coming straight down Park Rose. Mount Vernon was starting to be in this heyday. I mean, you had to, driving down Park Rose on a Sunday, you knew you were going to have a little bit of a log jam coming past Mount Vernon, because it was the place for the gospel family or the Ralph Lofton singers. And you just saw pride everywhere. Pride was exhibited in neighborhoods. You saw driving down Park Road, you're going to see Ernie Patterson washing his car. I have never seen any car associated with Ernie Patterson dirty. Drive a little further down, you may catch Denson Taylor, the guy from all those companies, that had the good hair. Denson was always bright. My brothers were friends with William Turner, Wendell Turner. Now the younger brother, I think he was just a good bit past us. The Neelys, I know everybody talked about the Neelys home on Holmes Road. The Neelys at that time were living on Park Rose also, not Holmes. They were initially on the hill in Park Rose. The Westwood Aces were huge. In the Westwood, everybody wanted to pop. Everybody wanted to dance. To this day, I still think of how cool Rodney Shipp was. Rodney Shipp, Rodney Boone, Earl Puckett. Just guys I remember from back in that day. Tony Rhodes, Freddie Rhodes, Kenny Rhodes. The Duckets were on Park Road, were on Cimarron. The Braxtons. And then you had the house on the corner where old man Bullock was there with his wife, the school teacher, and the twins, Valerie and Valencia. My little pocket of Westwood, you had the Williamses across the street. That's Homer, Hervale, and Harley. And Darren Stone and Karen Stone to the left. Sylvester stayed down there. 2 doors to the right of us is a guy named Terrell Sanders that I'm sure most of you all know. I grew up with Terrell, and I actually grew up with Terrell's brother who got involved in a mishap, lost his life years ago. But every parent out there could discipline you. Every parent out there could check you. Every parent could put you in your place. I remember the twins had a friend named Sharon Harding, and Sharon had a brother around my age, Derek, the late Derek Harden. Tippy, I think, ended up owning a grocery store, but he was just a little boy. Then Westwood had so much pride. When you came to play the Longhorns, to this day, and I'm 58, there are people that swear that I graduated from either Westwood or Hillcrest, and I went to neither. The craziest transfer thing in the Memphis City School history is you could stay on one part of Cimarron and go to Westwood, and your neighbor right across the street goes to Hillcrest. This is the craziest thing I ever seen. I said, this is so insane. So it broke all of us. I broke a lot of my friends up. Of course, I was broke up anyway because I went to Central. And if your parents didn't catch you at Central, you had to catch somebody else's parents. And if your parents are held up, you better be friendly with everybody. I think out of the Westwood area then, I had a friend in Indian Hills, David Russian and Eric Russian, but we rode carpool sometime with Apostle Bill Anderson's mother and Kathy, his sister, who went to Central also. There was Wallace Holmes, the late Wallace Holmes, and then of course Camille Holmes. I think Camille was Central's valedictorian in 1985 or close to it. So you had to deal with a whole bunch, but Westwood was Westwood. It was a great area of pride. It was nothing short of George and Weezy. We had moved on up. Basketball wise, I saw Baskerville Holmes bring the ball up. Bat was 6'7". Bat was dribbling like a point guard and pulling up at the timeline. He wasn't doing as many dunks. Bat was so gifted. Baskerville Holmes, the late Michael Jett. George Qualls maybe played on that team, but they were loaded in every sport. Of course, my guy T-Bird, Antonio Harris was just an amazing back. Westwood was just a great place. Not saying it's not a great place now, but I think people just, they talk about the greatness of Orange Mound and other communities, but they forget that Westwood was one of Memphis's best. Still to this day, is something to be proud of. All my Indian Hills partners down there at Powwow and Tony Banks and Virgil Cook and Jacob Banks and my guy Juan Sharp, Good Hair Juan, Richard Moody lived back there then, my guy Howard Savage, Steve, all you Indian Hill, and Tojo, all my Indian Hills cats. I was proud to be from Westwood in the 80s. All y'all folks that lived on Starline and Charter Oak, the Dockins on Charter Oak, I was proud to be a Westwood cat. Still am. Be blessed.